Good afternoon, dear students. Let's start our lesson. The theme of our lesson: Amazing Brain Facts. Learning objectives are: deduce meaning from context in unsupported extended talk on a wide range of general and curricular topics, including talk on a growing range of unfamiliar topics. Understand specific information and detail in extended text on a wide range of familiar and unfamiliar general and curricular topics. Today you will know facts about human brain, get acquainted with new vocabulary, distinguish positive and negative human emotions, know what emotions people feel in each situation.
Brain. The brain consists of three parts. The forebrain controls all thoughts, senses, motor functions, emotions, and hunger. The midbrain controls auditory and visual reflexes as well as awareness. The hindbrain controls coordination and analysis of senses. Brains have a similar texture to tofu. There are 100,000 miles of blood vessels within the brain, enough to circle the earth 4 times. The ancient Egyptians believed the brain's function was to produce snot. Though the brain only makes up 2% of the body's weight, it uses 20% of the body's energy. A person's brain has 100 billion neurons. These cells are known as the gray matter, which process information. Einstein's brain has been preserved for study. It is split into 240 separate slides for viewing. 89.06 is the percentage of people who report normally writing with their right hand, 10.6% with their left, and 0.34% with either hand. More electrical impulses are generated in one day by a single human brain than by all the telephones in the world. After age 30, the brain shrinks 0.25% in mass each year. The brain can stay alive for 4 to 6 minutes without oxygen. After that, brain cells begin to die. The fact that people use only 10% of their brain is a myth. Humans use 100% of their brains. The composition of the brain is 77 to 78% water, 10 to 12% lipids, 8% protein, 1% carbs, 2% soluble organics, 1% inorganic salt. It is currently impossible to measure the possible storage potential of a brain. A professor at Northwestern University suggests that if a human brain was converted into a hard drive-like device, it could store 2.5 petabytes of data. That equals more than 500,000 DVDs or 100,000 Blu-ray discs. Narrated by Dorian Douglas, animated by Andre Preston, concept art by Lindsay Milliken, music by Primoz Mihalic. For more infographics, make sure you subscribe to our channel or click on a video on your screen. You can also follow the Infographics Show on Facebook and Twitter.
I think you've understood the structure of human brain, and let's go on. In the next task, find out how much you really know about human brain with our quiz.
Unit 3, Section A, Exercise 6.
For such a complex and amazing organ, it is hardly surprising to learn that the brain uses a huge amount of energy. In fact, although it is only about 2% of the body's total weight, it uses around 20% of its total energy and oxygen intake. So it's important to keep eating and breathing, especially when you're studying. Only first-year students are attending this lecture today, so I guess that you are all around 18 or 19 years old. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but not exactly surprised, that your brains still haven't reached full development yet. In fact, they won't until you are around 25 years old. That's why it's so important to keep them healthy and active as they grow and mature. One way to do this is by focusing on what you think. Did you know that the brain is believed to produce around 50,000 thoughts every single day? And research shows that if you can ensure that the majority of those thoughts are positive ones, you are much less likely to suffer from depression. Something to think about, I'm sure you'll agree. As we discussed previously, It is in the temporal lobe where our memory functions occur. However, there are memory fragments stored throughout the brain, and some recent research carried out in the UK has shown that our brains are able to recognize and recall around 5,000 faces, although I'm sure university lecturers can remember more. Before I finish today, I just want to give you a couple more facts to think about. First of all, do you know what the average attention span was of a human back in the year 2000? It was around 12 seconds. So, what do you think it is now? Any thoughts? Just 8 seconds. And what do you think is responsible for our inability to concentrate on one thing for more than a few seconds? I'll give you a clue. You are always using them when you should be paying attention in lectures. Of course, it's the smartphone. But we'll end today on some good news. A few years ago, scientists in Japan wanted to compare the power of supercomputers with the human brain. They took the K computer, at the time one of the most powerful machines in the world, and instructed it to process all the information that our brains can process in 1 second. How long do you think it took? Less than a second? You must be joking. It took it 40 minutes. So remember, look after your brain, because it really is your most powerful piece of equipment. See you on Tuesday, when I'm planning to talk more about how the brain processes information.
Let's check your answers. 1. B. 2. C. 3. C. 4. B. 5. A. 6. C. Okay, that's good. Go on. There you can see a lot of words according to the human emotions. Divide these words into 2 groups, positive and negative. Positive emotions are love, adoration, contentment, interest, happiness, excited, amusement, surprise. Negative emotions are anger, anxiety, stress, envy, shame, frustration, misery, thrill, grumpy, disgust, disappointment, sad, fear. Look at these photos. Here you can see a lot of people with different emotions. Some of them are happy and the others are not. So, let's go on. Open your student's book, page 25, exercise number 10. Using the previous words, define what emotions might you feel in these situations. Let's check. Number 1. Anxiety, stress. Number 2. Anger, frustration, stress. 3. Envy. 4. Thrill. 5. Anger, anxiety, stress, shame. 6. Envy, misery. 7. Contentment, thrill. 8. Anger, frustration, stress. Okay, let's conclude our lesson. You should express your reflection about lesson using special emotional symbols. You should send me all these symbols to direct, WhatsApp or Facebook. Thank you for watching.